Hi everyone, Kristen Roberts here, founder and managing attorney of Trestle Law APC. I know that trademarks get a lot of hype, especially around here because it's one of the big things that we do here at Trestle Law. We help our clients monetize and protect their intellectual property, namely trademarks. But we also help our clients protect their valuable intellectual property as it relates to copyright and patent. And today, I wanted to talk to you about copyright, specifically why it's so important you get your copyrighted material registered with the Copyright Office. So, without further ado, I'm going to be sharing 3 reasons why it's important for you to register your copyrightable material. Number 1, registering your copyrightable material actually allows you to enforce your copyright. I know that this sounds kind of counterintuitive because, wait, copyright law already applies. But when your work is not registered, and when I say your work, it has to be fixed in a tangible medium. It's any work of creative authorship fixed in a tangible medium. So that would apply to, course creators, musicians, digital artists, anything that you can think of that would be fixed in a tangible medium. That would be subject to copyright protection. Now, I know this probably goes against everything that you know or you think you know about copyright, which is, wait, if I just put the little C with a circle, it's automatically protected. And that's true when it comes to the inherent protections that copyright law affords. But if you actually want to sue somebody or send them a cease and desist letter that carries any weight, it has to be registered. So registering your copyrightable material actually will let you bring a lawsuit in court. Whereas if you don't register it, you will not be allowed to do that until you actually register your material. Number 2, and this is a big one, statutory damages. Statutory damages are damages that are afforded to somebody whose rights have been infringed that are codified in the statute. In the Copyright Act, any copyright that's been violated is subject or is able to collect statutory damages. However, the caveat is the work has to be registered. It can't just be sitting out in the ether without being registered. And if you go, okay, well, no big deal. I'll just wait until somebody infringes it and then I'll go get it registered. Well, that's okay, except any infringement that occurs prior to the registration gets cut off from those statutory damages. And those damages can be huge, up to $150,000 per infringement. It's really not something that you want to miss out on, particularly when copyright tends to be one of the more affordable registrations you can get. And finally, number 3, you can actually follow through on your DMCA takedowns. Most people do these themselves. I'm referring to the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, wherein this was an act that was enacted in the 90s that gave people the ability to reach out to internet service providers or web providers and say, hey, my content, my copyrightable material is being infringed on these websites. Please take it down. There are certain requirements that you have to meet to effectively submit a DMCA takedown notice. Those are very easy to find, and many people do them by themselves. The catch is, and the catch that most people don't know about, is that once that DMCA takedown notice is submitted to the web host or the web provider, the internet service provider, they will take it down unless the person who is accused of the infringement submits a counter notice. A counter notice then resets the time for the person saying, hey, take it down, and they will only keep that material down if the person who claims ownership of the material can prove that they filed suit within 10 to 14 days of receiving the counter notice. This is huge because if you are unable to do that, then that material goes back up. Okay? So that's not good, right? You want that material taken down, and you can't file a lawsuit in 10 to 14 days without a registration. Those registrations can sometimes take months to go through the Copyright Office. And even when you expedite them, it really does depend on the backlog that the Copyright Office has. So it behooves you to register it as soon as you publish that work or as soon as you launch that work into the world. I hope these tips were helpful today. Keep following us on here and as well as on all of our social channels, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and I even have a TikTok account.